What is going down, YouTube Niner Empires? Your boy Danny G in the house. Man, I am pumped up for this game. Niners got the Seahawks for the wild card round. Only the second time they've ever played the hated rival Seahawks in the postseason. The first being in the 2013-2014 NFC Championship game, where Kaepernick threw the pass that was tipped by Richard Sherman and into the hands of Malcolm Smith, who returns it for a touchdown and ends up winning the game for the Seahawks, winning the NFC, advancing to the Super Bowl, where they end up winning their first ever Super Bowl. And of course, you had that famous post game interview, Richard Sherman with Aaron Andrews, and of course, Sherman is a future 49er. But as soon as all that happened, I believe that's kind of what made this Niners Seahawks rivalry alive, because despite the fact that they've been in the same division since the early 2000s, there wasn't much of a rivalry before that until at least maybe 2011. But I think to this day now, of all time, if you look at the Niners' all-time rivals, I would say that would be number 2 on the list all time. Number 1, I would still have to say, would be the Dallas Cowboys from the 80s and the 90s. But I say to this day that is still the Niners' biggest rival, the Dallas Cowboys. But number 2 would have to be the Seahawks. Because from 2011 up until 2019, the Niners had not won a fucking game at the Seahawks home stadium. And you might say, oh, well, then that means there isn't a rivalry because they just dominated. But no, because the Niners and the Seahawks always play each other hard no matter what the circumstances are. And as far as that list goes with rivals, I would say third would have to be the formerly known as Oakland, formerly known as Los Angeles, then formerly known as Oakland again, and currently known as the Las Vegas Raiders at number 3. And then 4, you could say, are the Los Angeles Rams. But this Niners-Seahawks rivalry, for people my age and for people my generation, they look at the Seahawks as the Niners' biggest rival. They just do. And again, I still say the Cowboys are number 1 on that list. But so having these two teams play each other in the postseason is awesome. It just is. And I remember wanting this back in the 2019-2020 postseason. But think about that. From 2011, and I remember that game actually. The Niners beat the Seahawks. And I actually remember Marshawn Lynch broke their, what was it? Oh, yeah. So the Niners had not given up a rushing touchdown that year at all. And then Marshawn Lynch scores the first rushing touchdown against them in that game in 2011. And then, so the Niners win that game. And then in 2019, Dre Greenlaw, of course, makes that goal line stance. And the Niners end up clinching the NFC West and end up being the number 1 seed, because if the Seahawks had won that game, they would have been the number 1 seed and the Niners would have been the 6th seed. But since the Niners won that game, they end up being the number 1 seed and get home field advantage throughout the entire postseason. So this rivalry has been in full effect for a while. You know, it may have been one-sided with the Seahawks at home, but overall, it has been a hell of a rivalry since the 2010s. And man, I am looking forward to this game so much. There's nothing more than I want than to get revenge on them in the postseason from the 2013-2014 NFC Championship game. Now, Pigpen, he made a video, and hey, although I did not have time to really make a hate week video, I was in the Bay Area last weekend. I went to the last regular season game against the Cardinals. You know, I've been busy. I came back and had to work the whole week, so I haven't had time to make a hate week. But I love the fact that you still make a video whenever we play you guys, because despite the fact that some people might say that the trash talking circle, known as the TTC, for those of you that aren't familiar with it watching this video, people are telling me that it's dead, and I don't really know what to believe. So I don't know how active the whole TTC is. I haven't really had much time to follow it, but Pigpen, shout out to you, man. I'm glad you're able to keep this YouTube rivalry alive. And I'll just say it, in your video, you know, you may have said something about, oh, you know, all we've had is a participation trophy so far, this 10-game winning streak we've had. But hey, I would say that would be more how I look at you, because you basically have a participation trophy into the postseason because you relied on the Detroit Lions beating the Packers to get in to sneak into the playoffs. So, who really has the participation trophy there, guy? But anyway, though, so this game's going to be epic. The Niners, of course, have won their last 10 games in a row, and Brock Purdy has won his first 5 NFL starts. He's won 6 games overall, counting the game against the Dolphins, where he took over for the injured Jimmy Garoppolo. And of course, no one, including me, expected this was going to happen for Brock Purdy. I thought that Brock Purdy had the potential to be good, but I had no idea that he was going to be this good this quickly. Now, him being the last overall pick in the draft, known as Mr. Irrelevant, is such an awesome story, such an awesome Cinderella story, that it has become one of the biggest stories in all of sports in these past couple months. And Brock Purdy has, of course, he has shocked the NFL world. No one has ever imagined he would do this. And in some of my videos this year, a couple times, talking about the whole Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo saga, saying that, Trey Lance, of course, being injured week 2, I came on here and I said that if the Niners did not obtain Jimmy Garoppolo, restructure his deal, this team would not have gone anywhere after Lance got injured week 2. Because you can quote me, I've said this in a couple of my videos, I believe, at least 1 or 2 of my videos. I said that if Brock Purdy ends up being the starter, then this season is over. And I even said, hey, it's nothing against Brock Purdy. He has the potential to be a good quarterback, but he's really inexperienced. He's a rookie quarterback. Like, you can't expect anything from him for this season. I would have said that. And I am proud to admit that I was dead fucking wrong with that take, because Brock Purdy is a fucking legend. Straight up. His poise in the pocket, his accuracy. He plays like he's been in the league for at least 2 or 3 years. How confident he is in the pocket. He makes mistakes sometimes. He bounces back. He's able to bounce back right away. And Jimmy was able to do that. He'll throw an interception, bounce back, look on the next drive. Brock Purdy has thrown has barely thrown any interceptions, though. And he knows when to take a sack when he needs to in the pocket. He knows when to throw it away when he needs to. He knows to run out of bounds if he's scrambling. He just has such a big football IQ that him playing here in Arizona in high school and being one of the top players, and him having a good college career at Iowa State, he's used that basically like as if it was NFL experience. That's how I look at it. Brock Purdy has used his high school and his college career, and he's may as well have had that be him playing in the NFL, because he treats the NFL like it's just another high school game or another college game. That's how he's playing. Now, this is the postseason now, and you can make the argument that he might not be ready for this big stage, although I disagree with that opinion, but that's a fair point. That's a fair take. But all I'm going to see from Brock Purdy from now on is, hey, you can say this is a crazy prediction. I expect Brock Purdy to lead the Niners to a Super Bowl victory at quarterback. And I expect him to win the Super Bowl in his hometown, in Arizona, in Glendale. That's what I'm expecting to happen. Now, the Seahawks have somewhat of a Cinderella story, you could say, going with Geno Smith, because no one expected the Seahawks to be this good. They ended up going 9-8 and sneaking into the playoffs. You, of course, got to credit Pete Carroll for that. Kenneth Walker won Rookie of the Month in October and is one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. Of course, Brock Purdy, that's won it for December and is also one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. The Seahawks got somewhat of a solid team. The Niners, of course, have the better overall team, which is why they have the better record, which is why they're 13-4, and why the Seahawks are only 9-8. But hey, it is the postseason. Anything can happen. You cannot overlook the record. And this game is going to be it's going to be a wet game, which means that I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Some people predicted it to Niners to just absolutely blow out the Seahawks. I'm going to be realistic, and I don't think that's going to happen. But I expect them to win by at least 2 possessions in this game. That's what I expect. I expect this defense to just dominate the way it's been all season long. Nick Bosa is an absolute beast. I'm expecting to see him get a couple sacks on Geno Smith in this game. This secondary has played absolutely incredible. Hufanga, Gibson. I mean, I don't think anyone expected them to have as good a year as they have both had. And so the Niners, in order to win this game, just have to keep playing the same football that they've been playing these last 10 games. And as good as the defense is, as long as the offense is able to score points, as long as CMC is able to do his thing, this Seahawks team has no chance to win this game. And that's just facts. Because the Niners just have too many offensive weapons. Having CMC, having Debo healthy now, having Elijah Mitchell back, having Brandon Ayuk, having Kyle Juszczyk. The Niners just have too many offensive weapons. Just too many. And of course, don't even get me started on George Kittle. Brock Purdy has basically restored George Kittle's greatness. George Kittle has 11 touchdown receptions this year. Back in September, a lot of people were like, hey, well, how come we haven't seen much of George Kittle lately? Like, what happened to the dominant George Kittle from 2017, 2018, and 2019? Like, where did he go? Brock Purdy has made George Kittle look better than he's ever had before. So, bottom line, the Niners are going to win this game. They're going to advance to the divisional round. They cannot overlook the Seahawks, but the Niners just have too many offensive weapons to lose this game. Rain or shine, this defense is going to dominate, and this offense is going to dominate like they have all season long. Anyway, Danny G is out. Let's go Niners. Let's get this win. Let's advance. Danny G is out. Peace!